There's a particular quality of morning light that changes everything. You've seen it, that moment just after dawn when the world hasn't yet remembered to be loud. The air feels different, softer, more honest. And in that brief window, before the notifications start and the day demands your attention, there exists something most people spend their entire lives searching for. A kind of calm that doesn't depend on circumstances. A peace that lives beneath the chaos, waiting. Not somewhere out there in a monastery or a mountaintop retreat. Right here, in the architecture of your own mind. You feel it sometimes, don't you? That brief pause between thoughts. That unexpected moment of stillness in the middle of a crowded room. It arrives unannounced and leaves just as quickly, and you wonder, where did it go? How do I get it back? And more importantly, why does it feel like the one thing I need most is the one thing I can never quite hold on to? What if I told you that the peace you're chasing isn't something you need to find at all? That it's not hiding from you, not playing games, not reserved for monks or mystics or people with better lives than yours? What if the disturbance you feel, the restlessness, the anxiety, the constant hum of mental noise, isn't the natural state of your mind, but something you've accidentally learned to create? This isn't theory. This isn't philosophy for its own sake. This is what happens when you're alone at 3 in the morning and your thoughts won't stop spinning. This is the exhaustion you feel after a day of meetings that could have been emails. This is the scroll, the search, the reaching for your phone the moment silence arrives. This is real. And somewhere in the middle of all this noise, your mind is trying to tell you something. I've spent years studying ancient wisdom traditions, Stoicism, Buddhism, Taoism, and here's what surprised me most. They all point to the same truth. Not metaphorically, not approximately, exactly the same insight, discovered independently across continents and centuries. The calm you're seeking doesn't need to be built. It needs to be uncovered. And there are 11 ancient truths that show you how. But before we begin, I need you to understand something. These aren't strategies to manage chaos. They're not techniques to cope with a difficult life. They're something far more powerful. They're invitations to fundamentally change your relationship with disturbance itself. To build a mind so calm that chaos can exist around you, within you even, and still not touch the deepest part of who you are. Take a breath. A real one. Not the shallow sip of air you've been surviving on, but a full, deep breath that reaches all the way down. Feel your body. The weight of it. The aliveness of it. You're here. Right now. In this moment. And in this moment, nothing is disturbing you. Not yet. So let's keep it that way. The first truth begins with something the Stoics understood better than almost anyone. Marcus Aurelius, the philosopher-emperor who ruled Rome while barbarians threatened its borders, wrote these words in his personal journal: "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this and you will find strength." But here's what most people miss when they read that quote. He wasn't talking about positive thinking. He wasn't suggesting you ignore reality or pretend difficult things aren't difficult. He was pointing to something far more radical. There's a moment that happens in your day, maybe many moments, when something goes wrong. The traffic, the email, the comment from a colleague that lands wrong. And in that instant, faster than thought, your mind does something. It doesn't just register what happened. It adds something extra. A story, a meaning, an interpretation wrapped in emotion. The traffic isn't just traffic, it's proof that your day is ruined. The email isn't just words on a screen, it's evidence that you're not valued. The comment isn't just a comment, it's confirmation of that fear you've been carrying around for years. And here's the strange part. The disturbance you feel doesn't come from the event itself. It comes from that story, that extra layer your mind wrapped around the raw experience. The Stoics called this the difference between what happens and what we tell ourselves about what happens. And they discovered something extraordinary. You can't always control what happens, but you can always control the story. I want you to think about the last time you felt deeply disturbed by something. Not mildly annoyed, truly shaken. Now ask yourself this question and be honest. What actually happened? Strip away every interpretation, every judgment, every piece of meaning you assign to it. What was the raw, objective event? You might be surprised by how small it becomes. How neutral? How much of the disturbance was the event itself? And how much was the story you wrapped around it like layers of clothing on a winter day? This is the first truth. Your mind creates most of its own disturbance. Not all of it, certainly. Real pain exists. Real loss exists. But the majority of what disturbs you, the constant background hum of anxiety and frustration and overwhelm, that's manufactured. And if your mind can create it, your mind can also choose not to. Pause here. Let that settle. Your mind creates most of its own disturbance. Feel what that brings up for you. Resistance? Relief? Both? The second truth takes this further, and it comes from a different tradition entirely. The Buddha, sitting under the Bodhi tree, discovered what he called the second arrow. Here's the teaching. When you're struck by an arrow, it hurts. That's the first arrow, the actual pain of the event. But then most people do something curious. They shoot themselves with a second arrow. The story about the pain. The anxiety about the pain continuing. The anger at whoever shot the first arrow. The shame at being the kind of person who gets hit by arrows. And here's what the Buddha realized. The second arrow often hurts more than the first. And it's entirely optional. You do this every day. Something difficult happens, that's the first arrow. You can't always prevent those. Life is full of first arrows. But then you add the second. You ruminate. You catastrophize. You replay the event in your mind with different endings, worse endings, endings where you said the perfect thing or finally proved your worth. You lie awake at night running simulations of conversations that will never happen. You build entire worlds of suffering inside your head, and then you live in them. That's the second arrow. And unlike the first, you're the one shooting it. I remember talking to someone who had just lost their job. A real first arrow. Legitimate difficulty. Financial stress. Uncertainty. Fear. All valid. But when we talked, I realized something. About 10% of her suffering was the actual job loss. 90% was the story she was telling herself about what it meant. That she was a failure. That she'd never recover. That everyone was judging her. That her life was over at 34. None of those stories were facts. They were interpretations. Second arrows. And they were destroying her more effectively than any job loss ever could. The second truth is this. Most of your suffering isn't the difficult thing that happened. It's your relationship with the difficult thing that happened. And relationships can change. Now, here's where it gets interesting. The third truth addresses the question everyone eventually asks. If I stop adding those stories, those second arrows, won't I become passive? Won't I stop caring? Won't I lose something essential about my humanity? The Taoists have an answer to this, and it's beautiful in its simplicity. They call it Wu Wei, non-forcing, action through non-action. And it's wildly misunderstood. Wu Wei doesn't mean doing nothing. It means doing without forcing, moving without struggle, responding without resistance. Think of water. Water is soft, yielding. It doesn't fight. It doesn't force. And yet, given enough time, water carves canyons through solid rock. Not through aggression, but through persistent, calm presence. That's Wu Wei. That's the third truth. Your mind can operate the same way. You can respond to life powerfully, effectively, intelligently, without the constant internal struggle you've been taught to believe is necessary. You can make decisions without anxiety. You can solve problems without stress. You can act with complete commitment without attachment to outcomes. This sounds impossible to most people because they've never experienced it. But it's not only possible, it's your mind's natural state. Consider this. Have you ever been in flow? That state where time disappears and everything just happens through you without effort? Maybe you were creating something, or having a conversation, or solving a problem, and you looked up and hours had passed. That's Wu Wei. That's your mind operating without force. And the strange thing is, that's when you're most effective. Not when you're straining and pushing and trying so hard the veins pop out on your forehead. When you're calm, present, allowing. The fourth truth builds on this, and it comes from a place you might not expect. Modern neuroscience. Your brain has two fundamental operating modes. Scientists call them the task-positive network and the default mode network, but let's use simpler language. There's doing mode and being mode. And here's what most people never realize. You're spending almost all your waking hours in doing mode. Planning, analyzing, solving, achieving, anticipating, remembering. Your mind is constantly oriented toward either the past or the future, constantly trying to fix something, improve something, become something other than what you are right now. And doing mode is useful. Obviously, you need it. But here's the problem. Your brain was never designed to stay in that mode constantly. It needs time in being mode. Simple awareness. Presence without agenda. Observing without trying to change what you observe. And when you never switch out of doing mode, your mind becomes like a muscle that never rests. It develops a kind of exhaustion that sleep alone can't fix. A restlessness that lives in your bones. A disturbance that becomes your baseline normal, even though it's anything but normal. The fourth truth is this. Your mind needs rest. Not sleep. Consciousness itself needs periods of pure presence where it's not trying to accomplish anything. Where it's not moving toward a goal or away from a problem. Where it's just here, noticing what's here. And most of you have forgotten how to do this. You've been in doing mode so long you've forgotten there's another option. Think about it. When was the last time you sat in silence for 10 minutes with absolutely nothing to accomplish? Not meditating to reduce stress, that's still doing mode, trying to achieve calmness. Not sitting because you should, that's doing mode disguised as being mode. Just sitting, being aware, noticing what arises. No phone, no music, no podcast, no book. Just you and consciousness itself. If that thought makes you uncomfortable, you're not alone. But that discomfort is diagnostic. It's showing you how far you've drifted from your mind's natural capacity for calm. Let's pause. Breathe 3 times. Feel the air moving in and out. You don't have to do anything with this information. Just let it be here with you. The fifth truth addresses something specific about the modern world, though the ancients somehow understood it perfectly. There's a Zen teaching that goes like this. Before enlightenment, chop wood, carry water. After enlightenment, chop wood, carry water. Most people read that and miss the point entirely. They think it means nothing changes. But everything changes. What changes is the mind doing the chopping and carrying. You live in a world that's designed to disturb you. Your phone buzzes. Your email pings. The news cycles feed you catastrophe after catastrophe. Social media shows you everyone else's highlight reel while you're living your behind the scenes. Your workplace demands constant availability. Your relationships require endless navigation. And underneath all of it, there's this unspoken expectation that you should be able to handle all of it gracefully while also pursuing your dreams, maintaining your health, being present for your loved ones, and somehow finding time for self-care. And here's what nobody tells you. You can't make the chaos stop. You can't make the modern world suddenly become peaceful. You can't opt out entirely without consequences. The wood still needs chopping. The water still needs carrying. The emails still need responses. The relationships still need attention. But the fifth truth is this. A calm mind doesn't require a calm life. It requires a fundamental shift in how you meet life, whatever form life takes. There's a story about a student who went to a Zen master and said, "I want peace. I want my mind to stop racing. I want to not feel anxious anymore." And the master said, "Show me your anxiety right now." The student said, "I can't. I'm not feeling it at this exact moment." The master replied, "Then you already know how to be free from it. The question is, why do you keep picking it back up?" This is profound if you really feel it. Your disturbance isn't a constant state. It comes and goes. There are moments, brief, maybe, but real, when it's not there. When your mind is quiet. When you feel okay. When life is just happening without commentary. And then something shifts. A thought arrives. A worry. A memory. A projection into the future. And you pick up the anxiety like picking up your phone. Automatically. Habitually. Without even realizing you're doing it. The fifth truth is about interrupting that automaticity. About catching yourself in the act of picking up disturbance and choosing, just once, to leave it where it is. Not forever. Not perfectly. Just once. And then maybe once more tomorrow. And eventually, the spaces between the disturbance get wider. The calm becomes more familiar than the chaos. The baseline shifts. The sixth truth is going to challenge something you probably believe deeply. You think your thoughts are you. You identify with the voice in your head so completely that you can't imagine any separation between you and it. When that voice criticizes you, you feel criticized. When it praises you, you feel proud. When it's anxious, you are anxious. The identification is total and seamless and completely invisible. Until it's not. There's a practice in many traditions called witnessing. You learn to observe your thoughts the way you might observe clouds passing across the sky. Not your clouds. Not good clouds or bad clouds. Just clouds. Arising. Moving. Dissolving. And in that observation, something extraordinary happens. You realize you're not the clouds. You're the sky. Unchanging. Undisturbed by whatever weather passes through. This isn't metaphor. This is direct experience. There's a part of you, call it awareness, consciousness, presence, that exists prior to thought. Before the commentary begins. Before the story gets told. It's the thing that notices the thoughts. And that thing, that awareness, is never disturbed. It can't be. Disturbance is something that happens within it, like waves on the surface of an ocean that never reach the depths. The sixth truth is this. You are not your thoughts. You are the awareness in which thoughts appear. And that awareness is naturally calm. It doesn't need to be made calm. It doesn't need techniques or practices or years of meditation. It's already calm. It's been calm your entire life. You've just been so focused on the thoughts, the waves, that you forgot about the ocean beneath them. I want you to try something right now. Notice your thoughts. Don't try to stop them or change them. Just notice. There's a thought happening. Maybe it's about what I just said. Maybe it's about something you need to do later. Maybe it's a feeling or a sensation or a memory. Whatever it is, notice it. And then ask yourself, who is noticing? Who is aware of the thought? That's you. The real you. The one that's always been here, always been calm, always been undisturbed. Everything else is just weather. Now the seventh truth gets practical. Because you might be thinking, this all sounds beautiful, but I still have to live in the world. I still have responsibilities. I still have problems that need solving. How does any of this help when my boss is unreasonable or my relationship is struggling or my bank account is empty? And this is a fair question. It's the question that bridges philosophy and life. The Stoics had a practice they called the dichotomy of control. It sounds academic, but it's devastatingly simple. There are things you control and things you don't control. You control your thoughts, your responses, your choices, your effort. You don't control outcomes, other people, the past, the future, the weather, the economy, most of what happens in the world. And here's the key. Most of your disturbance comes from trying to control what you can't control and neglecting what you can. You lie awake at night trying to control what your boss thinks of you. You can't control that. You rehearse conversations trying to control how someone will respond. You can't control that. You worry about outcomes trying to control whether things will work out. You can't control that. And all of that effort, all of that mental energy, all of that anxiety, it's wasted. Not just ineffective, actually counterproductive. Because while you're busy trying to control the uncontrollable, you're neglecting the one thing you actually can control. Your mind. Your response. Your story about what's happening. The seventh truth is about radical acceptance of this dichotomy. Not passive acceptance where you give up. Active acceptance where you focus all your energy on the small circle of what you actually influence and release everything outside that circle. It's not resignation. It's precision. It's the difference between spreading yourself thin trying to hold up the sky and standing firm on the ground beneath your feet. Here's what this looks like in practice. Your job is uncertain. You can't control whether you get laid off. That's outside your circle. But you can control how you prepare your resume, how you network, how you learn new skills, how you manage your finances, how you respond if the worst happens. And most importantly, you can control whether you spend the next 6 months in a state of chronic anxiety about something that might not even happen. That's the choice. That's always the choice. The eighth truth goes deeper still, and it touches on something many people find uncomfortable. Impermanence. Everything changes. Everything ends. Every moment is dissolving even as it's happening. The Buddhists meditate on this extensively, not to become depressed, but to become free. Because when you really understand that nothing lasts, something shifts in how you relate to difficulty. Your current problem, no matter how consuming it feels, is temporary. This job situation will resolve. This relationship conflict will either heal or end. This emotion you're feeling right now will change. Maybe not today, maybe not this week, but it will change. Everything does. And when you deeply understand this, two things happen. First, you stop clinging so desperately to what feels good, knowing it won't last. Second, you stop running so frantically from what feels bad, knowing it won't last either. There's a kind of peace that comes from this understanding. Not a happy peace. A deeper peace. The peace of someone who's made friends with change itself. Who doesn't need permanence to feel okay? Who can hold both joy and sorrow lightly, knowing both are passing through. This is the eighth truth. Nothing lasts. And paradoxically, accepting this makes you less disturbed by change, not more. I think about people who build their entire sense of security on things that are inherently unstable. Their job, their relationship, their youth, their health, their reputation. All of these will change. All of these will eventually fail them. Not because life is cruel, but because nothing physical lasts forever. And when you base your peace on the impermanent, you guarantee your own disturbance. But when you find something in yourself that doesn't depend on circumstances, something that's here whether you're employed or unemployed, healthy or sick, praised or criticized, that's when you become unshakable. Take a moment. Notice how you feel hearing this. Does it bring relief? Resistance? Sadness? Whatever arises is okay. Let it be here. The ninth truth addresses a specific type of disturbance that's epidemic in our time. Comparison. The constant measuring of your life against others. Social media has made this worse, obviously, but the pattern is ancient. You see someone else's success and feel diminished. You see their joy and feel like something's missing from your life. You see their productivity and feel lazy. Their creativity and feel blocked. Their relationships and feel lonely. And underneath all of it is this toxic belief that there's a right way to live and you're doing it wrong. The Taoists have a concept called Piyu, the uncarved block. It refers to your original nature before society's expectations carved away at it. Before you learned what success was supposed to look like. Before you internalized all the shoulds and musts and have tos. There's a version of you that exists beneath all the conditioning. A version that knows what it actually wants, not what it's been told to want. And that version is never disturbed by comparison because it's not trying to be anyone else. The ninth truth is this. Your path is yours alone. Not better or worse than anyone else's. Not ahead or behind. Just different. Completely, utterly, irreducibly different. And the moment you stop trying to live someone else's life, the moment you stop measuring yourself against their timeline or their definition of success, something extraordinary happens. You become available to your actual life. The one that's here. The one that's been waiting for you to notice it. This doesn't mean you can't be inspired by others. It doesn't mean you can't learn or grow or aspire. It means you stop treating their path as evidence of your failure. You stop thinking there's a race and you're losing. You stop believing that someone else having something means there's less available for you. You start understanding that life isn't a zero-sum game. Their joy doesn't diminish yours. Their success doesn't threaten yours. Their journey has nothing to do with yours except as potential inspiration for what's possible. The 10th truth is about something you probably do without realizing it. Resistance. Not the healthy kind where you stand up for your values. The unhealthy kind where you fight against reality itself. Where you argue with what is. Where you spend enormous amounts of energy wishing things were different than they are right now in this moment. Let me be clear. This isn't about accepting injustice. It's not about being passive in the face of things that need changing. You can work to change the future while fully accepting the present. That's not contradictory. That's wise. But most people don't do that. They reject the present while being paralyzed about the future. They say, this shouldn't be happening, instead of, this is happening, and here's what I can do about it. There's a phrase that's become almost cliché, but it's true. What you resist persists. When you fight against an emotion, it grows stronger. When you push away a thought, it returns with reinforcements. When you reject an aspect of reality, you give it power over you. But when you accept, not condone, accept, something shifts. The energy you were spending on resistance becomes available for response. The clarity that was obscured by fighting becomes visible. The path forward that was blocked by denial becomes obvious. The 10th truth is about the profound power of acceptance. Not as surrender, but as strategy. Not as weakness, but as wisdom. You accept what is so you can work with what is. You stop arguing with reality so you can start shaping it. You make peace with the present so you can create a different future. And in that acceptance, the disturbance that comes from resistance simply dissolves. Think about the last time you were truly at peace with a difficult situation. Not because it wasn't difficult, because you stopped fighting the fact of its difficulty. You stopped saying, this shouldn't be hard, and just acknowledged, this is hard, and I'm doing it anyway. Remember how that felt? How much energy became available? How much clearer everything seemed? That's what acceptance gives you. Not passivity, power. And now we come to the 11th truth. The one that ties everything together. The one that, if you really understand it, changes everything. Your mind is already calm. Right now. Beneath all the noise. Beneath all the disturbance. Beneath every thought and worry and fear and story. There is a layer of your consciousness that is always, already, fundamentally at peace. You don't need to create it. You need to stop obscuring it. Imagine you're standing in a room full of smoke. Thick, choking smoke everywhere. You can barely see. You can barely breathe. And someone tells you, build clearer air. You'd think they were crazy. You can't build air. You can only remove the smoke. The clear air is already there. It's always there. It's what the smoke appears in. Your calm mind is like that air. It's not something you build. It's something you reveal by removing what obscures it. Every practice we've talked about, watching your thoughts instead of identifying with them, accepting what you can't control, releasing resistance, understanding impermanence, they're all smoke removal. They're not creating calm. They're removing what blocks the calm that's already present. And this changes everything about how you approach your inner work. You're not trying to become someone who's calm. You're recognizing that you are, at the deepest level, calm itself. You're just covered in smoke. The 11th truth is this. You are not broken and needing to be fixed. You are not chaotic and needing to be tamed. You are not disturbed at your core. You are calm at your core, and you've learned patterns of thinking and reacting that create disturbance. And what can be learned can be unlearned. What can be added can be removed. What obscures the sky can blow away, revealing what was always there. This isn't positive thinking. This isn't pretending everything's fine when it's not. This is understanding the fundamental nature of consciousness itself. Awareness is naturally peaceful, naturally spacious, naturally undisturbed. Everything else, the anxiety, the rumination, the resistance, the stories, is added. And if it's added, it's optional. If it's optional, it can be chosen differently. If it can be chosen differently, you're already free. You just don't know it yet. So here's what I want you to understand. Building a mind so calm nothing can disturb it isn't about achieving some superhuman state of equanimity. It's not about never feeling emotions or never having difficult days. It's about recognizing that beneath the weather of your mental and emotional life, there is an unshakable ground. A place in you that remains steady regardless of what's happening. And that place isn't somewhere you need to get to. It's where you've always been. You just got so fascinated by the storms that you forgot about the ground beneath your feet. Every ancient tradition discovered this independently. The Stoics called it the inner citadel. The Buddhists called it Buddha nature. The Taoists called it returning to the source. Modern neuroscience calls it resting state awareness. Different words for the same experience. The experience of coming home to yourself. Of finding that the peace you've been searching for everywhere else has been here all along, in the simple fact of your own conscious presence. And the beautiful thing is, you don't need to believe me. You can test this directly. The next time you feel disturbed, pause. Don't try to fix the disturbance. Don't try to make it go away. Just notice it. Notice that you're aware of being disturbed. And then ask yourself, what is aware of this disturbance? What is noticing it? That awareness, that witnessing presence, is it disturbed? Or is it calmly observing disturbance the way you might calmly observe a storm from inside a sturdy house? This is available to you right now. Not after years of meditation. Not after you read the right book or find the right teacher. Because it's not something you achieve. It's something you are. You're just so used to identifying with the contents of consciousness, the thoughts, the emotions, the sensations, that you've forgotten you're the consciousness itself. The container, not the contents. The screen, not the movie. The sky, not the weather. Let me give you something practical to take with you. A way to touch this calm whenever you need it. It's simple. Almost too simple. Throughout your day, especially when disturbance arises, pause and ask yourself 3 questions. First, what's the actual event? Strip away all interpretation. What objectively happened? Second, what story am I adding to it? What does my mind say this means? What second arrows am I shooting? Third, who is aware of this story? Who is noticing all of this? Those 3 questions create space. They interrupt the automaticity of disturbance. They remind you that you have a choice in how you meet each moment. And in that space, in that reminder, the calm that's always been there becomes visible again. Not because you created it, because you stopped obscuring it. You came here searching for something. Maybe you found it. Maybe you remembered it. Maybe you're still not sure what any of this means for your actual life. That's okay. You don't need to have it all figured out. You don't need to suddenly become enlightened. You just need to start noticing. Noticing when you're adding disturbance to difficulty. Noticing when you're identifying with thoughts instead of observing them. Noticing when you're resisting what is instead of working with what is. Noticing when you're in doing mode and forgetting being mode. Just noticing. That's enough. That's where everything begins. The world will still be chaotic tomorrow. Your problems won't magically disappear. The challenges of modern life will continue. But you don't need those things to change to find what you're looking for. You need your relationship with those things to change. You need to build a mind so calm that it can hold difficulty without becoming difficult. A mind so spacious that it can contain anxiety without becoming anxious. A mind so clear that it can witness suffering without being destroyed by it. This is possible. Not easy, necessarily, but possible. And not just for special people or spiritual masters or those who have the luxury of time and resources. For you, right now, right here, in the middle of your ordinary, complicated, challenging life. The calm you're seeking doesn't require different circumstances. It requires a different relationship with the circumstances you have. So I'll leave you with this. Not a question, really. More of an invitation. The next moment of disturbance that arrives, and it will arrive probably soon, what if you met it differently? Not with your usual patterns of resistance and story and identification, but with curiosity, with space, with the understanding that you are not what's disturbed, you are the awareness of disturbance. And awareness itself is never disturbed. It's just aware. Try it once. Just once. See what happens. See if there's a gap between the event and your reaction. See if in that gap, there's a choice you've never noticed before. See if in that choice, there's a calm you've been carrying all along. You're not lost. You're not broken. You're not fundamentally disturbed. You're just human with a human mind that learned some unhelpful patterns. And now you know 11 truths that can help you unlearn them. Not all at once. Not perfectly. But steadily. Patiently. With compassion for yourself and trust in the process. The calm is already there. It's been there your whole life. It's underneath everything, supporting everything, making everything possible. You don't need to build it. You just need to stop building walls around it. Stop adding so many layers that you can't feel it anymore. Stop moving so fast that you can't notice it's there. Breathe. Feel your body. Notice the awareness that's noticing everything. That's you. That's home. That's the mind so calm nothing can disturb it. Not because nothing disturbing happens, but because the deepest part of you isn't disturbed by anything that happens. It's just aware, just present, just here. And here is enough. You are enough. This moment, exactly as it is enough. Not because it's perfect, because in your calm awareness of it, perfection becomes irrelevant. The question isn't, is this moment good enough? The question is, can I be present with this moment, whatever it is? And the answer is always yes. Always has been. Always will be. So sit with this. Let it settle. Let it work on you the way water works on stone. Not violently. Not dramatically. Just persistently. Patient. Present. And when you're ready, not in a rush, but also not waiting for perfect conditions, begin. Begin again. Always begin again. That's the practice. That's the path. That's the way home to the calm you've been seeking everywhere except the one place it's always lived. Right here. Right now. Can you